Tonight's lead story, a man is carjacked and shot.
And for many people, it appears that this man is a mystery.
The suspect in the murder of a popular high school coach told investigators he was selling drugs.
Police say a man's body was found wrapped in a blanket. And I was reporting live from the Coliseum inside when Katrina hit.
A private helicopter for a U.S. security company was shot down over Baghdad. Criminals go to any office supply, buy check kit software like this.
Brett, as you mentioned, Dr. Ami has been under fire for months.
A staff member here brought in a jar to show us it's half full.
Family members say they found Tawanda Thomas on her knees right here.
President Bush is expected to ask for more than $2 billion to fight the war on terror. According to a senior administration official, the funding request includes $100 billion. That additional funding is for operations in Iraq and Afghanistan this year. The president is expected to ask for another $145 billion for 2008. At least one Jackson City Council member is defending Mayor Frank Melton tonight. Mayor Melton told the city's legal department to leave a city council meeting Tuesday. By law, the city's legal department works for both the mayor's office and the city council. But after Tuesday's meeting, some council members say they are now without representation. 16 WAPT's Megan West has our continuing coverage.
It's March, and that means March Madness, and it's not restricted to college basketball. Check out this video from Michigan. Wayland High scores with just a few seconds to go. Northern High throws the ball in, and with 1 second on a catch, spin, and fade away, good. The shot by the 5'4" guard goes in from 3 to win the game.
I can't even do that on Nintendo. That guy's good.
How do you like
Northern moves
that?
on to play.
Okay, we can handle it. We'll be okay. After yesterday's 94, I can enjoy some
Open
cool
up
weather.
the windows, enjoy the fresh air.
That's right. Thank you so much. And that's where 16 WAPT's Don Champion is right now, live for us with the latest. Don. A former Jackson teacher found guilty of killing her husband will not have to pay back the insurance money she collected. Tuesday, a jury found Alicia Hughes guilty of killing her husband, 32-year-old Brian Hughes, in 2004. Prom America Financial Services paid Hughes $250,000, the amount of her husband's insurance policy. Prom America said they paid the claim in good faith and do not know what good it would do to try and recoup the money in civil court. Well, back here at home, law enforcement is preparing to crack down on drivers who are not wearing their seat belts. 16 WAPT's Don Champion is live on Highway 80 to explain. Hey, Don, what's going on? The event will be held again at the Ag Museum on Super Bowl Sunday. For $25, you can get all the soup you can eat and a signature bowl by Gail Pittman. More than a dozen restaurants are participating, including Schimmel's, Nick's, McAllister's, AJ Seafood, and Bonefish Grill. And they're all providing food for the event. Yum, yum. The Salvation Army says the money raised is important for the metro area. A dorm fire caused a scare at Jackson State. JSU officials say the fire started on the second-floor suite of the W.E.B. Du Bois building. They say a couch and a chair caught fire around 7 Tuesday evening. Fortunately, the fire did not spread. Students living in the building all got out safely, and students who live in the damaged dorm room were relocated to other rooms. Scott, we want to warn you, some portions of this story are sexually explicit and may be offensive. Sarah Berry alleges she was sexually harassed by her supervisor. They were both attorneys employed by the Attorney General's office, and they both worked at the health department, handling legal matters for the agency.
She went through 3 years of a living hell.
Attorney Lewis Watson says his client, Sarah Berry, is emotionally devastated after 3 years of alleged sexual harassment by her former supervisor.
Her healthcare professional said, look, you've had enough. I don't want you going back to work at the Department of Health.
Berry and her former supervisor, Sanford Horton, are both attorneys. They were employed by the Attorney General's office but worked as a team at the Department of Health on legal matters for the agency. In a lawsuit filed Friday, Berry alleges Horton created a hostile work environment during her 3 years there.
It was basically showing her pornographic material and making constant degrading comments about women.
Watson showed us a picture he says Horton showed Berry on the job. The photo is of a naked woman with a man in a wheelchair on the left and Horton on the right in the red. The woman is sitting across their laps.
It's my understanding that he presented it to her in an effort to see what she thought about it.
Berry also alleges in the lawsuit Horton openly told her what he thought about a female director at the agency. She was good for only one thing. In the lawsuit, it reads, spreading her legs.
I simply couldn't believe it.
In the lawsuit, Berry alleges Horton used the N-word often. Watson says Berry went to both agencies in 2004 to complain about Horton.
They did nothing. There was no investigation. Nothing was done about it. No sexual harassment training, nothing.
The Health Department referred us to the AG's office for a comment about the case. Deputy Attorney General Mike Lanford said, after talking with witnesses who should be able to verify Sarah's allegations, we have found no basis for the causes of action charged in her complaint. Now, Berry is seeking damages for pain and suffering, lost wages, and legal fees in court.
Basically, it was the two of them, and it's going to be her word versus his word.
We called Sanford Horton to get his comments on the allegations. The woman who answered the phone said he doesn't work at the health department anymore. We left a message asking that he return our call. So far, he has not called us back. Sarah Berry is not working for the agency anymore, and we will stay on the case and see what happens. What witnesses thought was a hostage situation was actually high school drama students improvising a scene in the school hallway. 8:41 Friday morning. Fear spreads quickly through Durant's K-12 school. Someone calls police after seeing a student holding a gun to a teacher's head. Within a matter of minutes, parents descended on the school, not knowing what was going on.
I'm not sure. I don't know. So I just came to pick up my children.
Just came over here and got the call, and I went and got my niece and nephew out of school.
Ma'am.
A school board member showed up looking for answers.
I don't know anything that has happened. I'm here to find out myself.
Officials found out it was a false alarm.
Before we could actually tell anybody anything, everything was just gone out of proportion.
This high school drama student says they were practicing an improvisation in the hallway. Someone saw them acting, holding a gun to the drama teacher's head, and thought it was really happening. Police reacted as if it was a real emergency.
No, this is the first time we ever had anything like that.
If I walked out into the hallway, what would I have seen?
You would have seen the student with the gun, the toy gun to the teacher's head. I mean, I don't blame them because there's so much school violence going on.
Violence earlier this month that left 5 young girls dead and 5 injured in a shooting at a Pennsylvania Amish schoolhouse. Earlier this month, a stranger walked into a Colorado school, molested several girls, and killed one of them. A student shot and killed his principal in Wisconsin this month. And in Missouri, a 13-year-old brought an AK-47 to school.
It can be a parent's nightmare.
School Superintendent Glenn Carlisle understands parents' fears.
We're going to do whatever we need to do to alleviate those fears and those concerns with our parents and to ensure that nothing like this ever takes place again.
Durant's chief of police, Jerry Bankhead, confiscated the toy gun. He says no criminal charges will be filed in the incident. Bankhead says it was poor judgment on the teacher's part to allow students to do that. School Superintendent Glenn Carlisle says no weapons, toy or real, are allowed at school. Carlisle says disciplinary action will be taken involving the teacher. He would not specify what will be done.
I got 2 little cousins that don't have a mama.
2 families grieving, distraught over the death of 39-year-old Tawanda Thomas.
I was trying to get her to leave him, but she was just too scared to leave.
Too scared to leave her common-law husband, 40-year-old Chandler Hobson. Relatives say Hobson beat her often.
Most time when he would jump on her, he would always make sure that he didn't really hit her in the face. He would always hit her in spots that you couldn't see.
But relative Tony Jackson stayed with the couple and saw him hit her. Sunday evening, Tony says they were fighting again.
And he told her if she go out that door, he gonna kill her. So he went got the gun out the bedroom and put the bullets in it.
Tony says she left and called Tawanda's older son, 20-year-old Chandler Jr. His cousin, Gregory Hobson, drove Chandler to their home on Boone Road.
When we got there, we had got a call and said that he had shot her now.
He saw his dad dash into the woods, and he went in the woods behind him.
Family members say they found Tawanda Thomas on her knees right here. And this is where they found the body of Chandler Hobson Sr. further down the road, badly beaten. Madison County Sheriff's deputies say Chandler Jr. nearly beat his father to death with a shotgun and now faces aggravated assault charges. Desiree Frazier, 16 WAPT News.
It's actually a male, but it does dress in women's clothing.
Ridgeland detective Don Martin is talking about Donald Cahoe. This is surveillance video shot in August, allegedly of Cahoe in Belk department store in Ridgeland. Martin says Cahoe is part of a cross-dressing ring passing counterfeit checks.
They'll go to other cities. They'll go to Vicksburg or they'll go to Memphis or Atlanta, basically cash all these checks and bring the stuff back and try to return it.
Martin says this day, Cahoe was trying to return a handbag bought with a counterfeit check when Belk employees became suspicious. Notice how they gather around the counter.
And she had ID, a Texas ID,
which police say didn't match the check.
Loss prevention was aware we were looking for this individual.
Police say Cahoe ran out of his shoe fighting off security.
She scratched one of the officers on the arm and I think on the ear.
Another day in August, Belk surveillance cameras caught a suspect in the cross-dressing ring and his associate on tape. Police say Jeremy Slater in the oversized white T-shirt with short sleeves is a part of the ring. The man with him is not a suspect. Martin says Slater used a counterfeit check to buy $173 worth of clothing the day this video was shot.
Like this ring is probably a dozen people.
Ridgeland police say criminals go to any office supply, buy check kit software like this, and print the checks up themselves.
Martin says Donald Cahoe uses the names Cameron Moore and Edith Cahoe for his counterfeit checks. Here are two of them. You can see the print is off-center. Trustmark Bank is on the dollar amount line. So, to retailers, Martin offers this warning.
And just being aware if it doesn't look right, either call the police or just don't take it.
Desiree Frazier, 16 WAPT News.